What's happening, everyone? Phil with Voxel Dental here. So I've had several discussions recently about the iCAT for orthodontic applications, but this video can apply to GPs and surgeons alike. The questions are about the dosage, what does the workflow look like to export a pan and a ceph, how does the resolution look for the lower dose scans, and more. So I thought a video would be helpful, and I'm going to walk you through some of this. Okay, so this is the iCAT Flex CBCT, and in this scan we captured a Quick Scan Plus volume, which is the lowest dosage option of all the types you can capture on the iCAT. And right from the jump you can see the resolution is going to be definitely a lot less than what you might be used to for certain applications. But for many orthodontic applications, not all, but for many applications, it's more than enough. Many of those applications, you're just looking at macro information. And the dosage is super low, which makes it nice. Let me pull up a dose chart here. There are multiple options you can take when capturing your iCAT scan. You can see there's a Quick Scan Plus, the Quick Scan Standard, and High Res. And you can see here the field of view, which is the maximum field of view you can capture for the Quick Scan Plus. You cannot capture the extended field of view for both Quick Scan Plus and Quick Scan. But for 16 by 13, which is what I was showing you, that's what you can do. And 11 microsieverts is super low. Many 2D machines will be in the neighborhood of 10 to 20 microsieverts for just the pan. Ceph dosages are less at a rough range of about 4 to 8 microsieverts. So you can see by capturing just the one 4.8 second scan versus having to position and capture two different images on traditional pans and cephs, your workflow is not only faster, but less dosage to the patient. So let me walk you through just a few things you can see for these applications on the cone beam. Then I'll walk you through how to extract the pan and the ceph, and then you can upload that to your management software, your imaging software. So first, on the 3D rendering, we can use this for a lot of your educational purposes. So when I zoom in, we can show patients and parents a lot of these details, and there's different views you can choose to make it look how you want to look and show specific areas. So for example, I can change this to bone x-ray. It removes the color, but you can visualize the roots in relationship to other roots a bit better. You can also adjust the threshold where you can add or remove dense structures. Okay, and I'll change this back to the first option. One other little cool thing you can do if I want to look at it from a lateral perspective and then select 3D inspection, click right over here and then just use my mouse wheel and scroll through so I can actually have my 3D rendering up and I can slice through my CBCT at the same time, which is kind of cool. Now looking at the actual slices themselves, if I look at my coronal aspect, there's a lot of things you can see which will be great for an orthodontist just with that initial scan, or really, like I said before, for our GPs, for surgeons in general. So I'm going to scroll through my coronal slice. Actually, one little helpful tip is if I make my slices a little bit less contrasty, I can see sometimes the details of the sinuses a little bit more clearly. So for example, I'm just going to kind of drag this a little bit to the left. Actually, let's keep it more contrasty for a second. Take a look at the ethmoid sinuses while I scroll through the image while it's more contrasty. But if I make it a little bit less contrasty and now pay attention again, you can see by lowering the contrast, the details of the sinuses are much crisper and clearer. But that's what I can see here on this particular scan. So I can see my turbinates, my ethmoid sinuses, maxillary sinus. You can clearly see, believe that's a mucus retention cyst, which is nothing. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. We can look at our sagittal view and we can see the same thing. And sagittal view gets you a nice perspective of your sphenoid sinuses as well. And of course you can scroll through your axial slice and look at the roots and the teeth and the relationships to each other. Make this a little bit bigger. And then grab my axial slice, begin in the mandible, and you can kind of see how we're scrolling through. And again, just looking at macro information for the time being. And if you needed a higher resolution scan for a specific purpose or to localize something a little bit better, then you can. You can just take a higher resolution scan. This is just the Quick Scan Plus for that initial scan, initial evaluation where I can extract my pan and ceph. So that leads me to how to do that. It's super easy. When you first take your scan and open it, all you have to do is go to 3D panoramic and your pan is already captured for you. If you wanted to change the contrast or brightness a little bit more for this image, you can. And from here, all you're doing is right-clicking, export filtered image, JPEG, and you can put it in a folder that you created, iCAT images, rename it if you want, and then save. For the ceph, do the same thing. Hit ceph, just do a single click. It generates your ceph automatically. You can change the contrast, brightness to your liking. Right click, export, JPEG, rename it, same thing. The entire workflow is very fast. 4.8 second scan. Reconstruction time is also fast because it's a smaller file. Then simply export your pan, your ceph, and you're done. All of these reasons point to why the iCAT's been so popular for the modern orthodontic practice. So I hope this was helpful, showing you the workflow and the low dose images from the iCAT Flex. Hope to see you soon.